It is one meaning of Shri Matre Namaha that I learned recently. This Matra word is also, it means a measure, right? Like when you're chanting, there has to be a certain matra, the way you have to chant. A meter, chandas is also a matra. So she's also, which means it is a certain duration of either time or an event which has been measured. So Shri Matre also means, of course, the direct meaning we refer to it as a Shri Matre is the mother. Mata becomes Matre. Unto the mother I prostrate. Shri Matre Namaha. But another meaning is also the one who is the measure, which means everything here is created by her, is made in absolute measurement, in the right amount of measurement. அளவு பார்த்து அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம்ல, எவ்வளவு இருக்கணுமோ அவ்வளோ, எவ்வளவு சந்தோஷம் நமக்கு கிடைக்கணுமோ அவ்வளோ, எவ்வளவு துக்கம் கிடைக்கணுமோ அவ்வளோ, எவ்வளவு all that we need to receive as experiences is also measured. So whatever happens is very in that sense, it is not haphazard. They say there is method to this madness. So nothing is haphazard. It is measured. It's done with a certain amount of insight that has gone into it. See, there is this one a philosopher that I have reminded. Sorry?
Both quantitatively and qualitatively defined.
Amma, correct. Both qualitatively and quantitatively. So there is this a philosopher, I'm reminded of this person, Arthur Schopenhauer. I like this philosopher. He is a German philosopher who translated the Upanishads from Persian to German. And he used to read a little bit of the Upanishads every night. German philosopher. And how he got the Persian version is because there is this elder brother of Aurangzeb, Dara Shikoh. Those who have heard of him. Actually, in Kashi, there is a small tomb called Dara Shikoh's tomb or something like that. He studied in Kashi for a period of time. Aurangzeb's elder brother, Aurangzeb, they are Islamic by birth, but he got so drawn to the Sufi way of living, the Sufi teachings. He got drawn to the Sufi teachings, and then he went in search of a guru and a teacher, and he found one in Kashi. So under him, he learned the Upanishads, and Dara Shikoh was thrown into jail, but by Aurangzeb. We know those stories, right? How later Chhatrapati Shivaji came and then defeated him and all that. But then he actually sent everybody to jail. His father, I think he killed his father, I'm not sure, but he threw his brother into jail, elder brother. But he didn't care, and he was in jail. He translated the Upanishadic literature into Persian. So many of the Western Upanishadic translations that we see has followed this route, which means from the Samskrita version, it's been translated into Persian by Dara Shikoh. Arthur Schopenhauer picked it up from Persian and translated it into German, and from there it started So the Westerners, of course, a lot of the Indian pundits or scholars who translated into English, that's a different stream. But I'm just talking about those Western writers who translated, who wrote some of these things. They did it from the German version of it. So this, why am I saying this? Is because of this person, German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. He said he was aging. When he was aging, somebody asked him, "How do you see life as?" So he said, "When I was growing up as a young boy, as an adult, young adult, and then as an adult, and then through my older years, while I was going through life, it seemed like chaos. Nothing made sense. Everything was chaotic. Everything seemed not right. Didn't make sense then. But now at the age of 65, I look back, my life seems to be like a perfect symphony." He says that. Two things have happened there, right? One is, not all of us are able to look back and say that. So for him, he has come to a certain level of maturity within him to see all that has happened, has enriched him in beautiful ways, and made the person that he is today. Right? So he's been able to see all of that. And also, he is able to see anything that has happened, good or bad. He was a world-renowned philosopher. So which means he has attained acclaim, right? He's got name, fame, he's written books. So it's not like he's a normal person in that sense. He's a public figure. So he has attained to some level of publicity. So he is looking back to say that I've had good times, I've had bad times, all that has happened. But all of that gone together has put me and created this person that I am. So to be able to come to that conclusion at an age, it requires a certain level of clarity of vision. So he recognized Shri Matre Namaha. Yeah, if you look at the word in the true sense of it, when you look back at your life.
Or he had enough of everything.
No, see, when you have enough of everything, it's hard to say that it is a beautiful symphony, right? You may come to a point of saying that I'm tired of life. We see a lot of people when they feel that I've had enough of everything with no motivation to live any further, that there is a fatigue. They reach a fatigue in life. We're not talking about fatigue. They're saying that he's been able to see that it was so beautiful, although it seemed chaotic, which means the next few years he's going to live also, he's going to see the same way now. It's right. So Shri Matre Namaha. So our lives are beautiful. Okay. Now, we were looking at the 120, 180, 49th verse. No, that's the 49th verse. How does the 49th verse go? Nirvikalpa nirabadha nirbheda bhedanashini nirnasha mrityumathani nishkriya nishparigraha. Once again, Nirvikalpa nirabadha nirbheda bhedanashini nirnasha mrityumathani nishkriya nishparigraha. Okay, so we saw until mrityumathani. Mrityumathanyay namaha. So we'll look at nishkriyayay namaha, nishparigrahayay namaha, and then maybe the next few also. So Nishkriyayay Namaha means salutations to her without involvement in action. Nishparigrahayay Namaha, salutations to her who needs no gift, as everything in the universe is hers. There's another meaning to Nishkriya, Nishparigraha. So Nishkriyayai Namaha. So how does this go? She is without any action. What does that mean? One who has got no action to do, which means she's in a state of Chumma Ire. There's one movie where Vadivelu is sitting under a tree. He's sitting under a tree and then just sitting like that, doing nothing. So a passerby comes and he says, Anne, enna pandringa? What are you doing? He says, what my father was doing, I am doing. Say, what did your father used to do? Nothing. And then he says, என்னன்னா தமிழ்ல தான் சொல்லணும் என்னன்னா சும்மா இருக்கீங்க why are you sitting like idle like this? Then he says, come and sit here for one day and show me. He tells, come sit here for one day and show me how you'll be able to be without doing anything. Nishkriya. Even for a moment, we cannot be without doing anything. Correct?
When actually it's, if you think of it, rather than associating it like physical action, your mind is not quiet.
Correct. But even otherwise, even of course, physical action also, you can't, it's hard for you to sit quiet and not do anything. Right? Even if there are involuntary actions that keep happening. You will have to keep moving, getting up, going here and there, doing your bodily functions. You have to do that. Mind, of course, is definitely the more subtler part of the whole process of trying to be without action. Right? So it's very hard for us to be nishkriya, without doing anything. So what does it mean? How can we be without doing anything? It is absolutely not possible, right? Being in this physical form, being in this body, having this mind, it is absolutely not possible to be nishkriya. There's another story. I think most people must be familiar with this. The story goes around in the corporate circles. This guy who's in a village, lying down on a cot on a beautiful sunny day, and he's got a small boat and he does some amount of fishing, and then an MBA graduate comes into that, and then he looks at him and says, what are you doing? He says, nothing, I'm just relaxing. I caught some fish today and I'm relaxing. I said, why are you relaxing? He says, I'll give you a brilliant idea. And he goes on to explain, you can do like this. You can, when you get the fish, you can, catch a little extra. You can give it to a few more people and then you get a little more money. You can build a bigger boat and then you can employ a few more people and you can do, and then you can make a little more money. You can have a comfortable house and everything. And then the MBA graduate tries to explain all of that. And at the end of it, he says, okay, all that is great. So what do you think I'll do at the end of it? I say, what? Then you've got everything. You've got money, the richest people working for you. Then you can sit and relax. He says, that's what I'm doing right now. So, why do you want to go through that? Why do you want me to go through that rigmarole to come and then sit and relax? At the end of the day, everybody wants to do that only, right? என்ன வேணும்? நிம்மதியா இருக்கணும். You always postpone it to the future. Why are you working so hard? So that I can be peaceful. Why are you slogging yourself? So that I can be peaceful in the future. Why are you going through so much of turmoil, blood pressure, heart attack, office stress, this stress, that stress? so that I can be stress-free in the future. It is so ridiculous, right? Even to think about it. To be able to be peaceful requires effort, no doubt. We are frantically running behind things, thinking that the next other thing that I'm going to get, I'm going to stop there and that's it. I'm going to now sit and relax. It never happens, right? It'll never happen. Which is that one thing I'll say that yes.
Just this one thing that you want to do.
Huh?
One more thing that you want to do.
Yeah. There's always there one more thing that I want to do. So Nishkriya, it's not possible for us to be without doing any action. At the same time, the problem with the world, not the problem of the world, the way the whole world is configured is it will try to pull you into external action. It will constantly pull you into external action. It will want you to engage with it constantly. Constantly engage, constantly. See, it's almost like my guru would say, it is like Devi wants you to be caught up. Devi wants you to be caught up. Because that's why she's called Lalitā Sahasranāmam, the playful goddess. She likes this play, this game. For her, at the end of the day, it's game. It's a play. And she'll keep letting you play till you are playing and she'll be watching it for fun. It's like a child going onto the beach and doing a sand castle and then breaking it and crying and then building again and then urundu aludu. Ayyo, then again you give it a balloon, then it's happy, it'll jump around, and then again it'll cry after the balloon flies away. So what do? You just watch. You're enjoying the whole thing. Of course, when the child hurts itself too much, then you come, intervene and try to help him out. But otherwise, what do? You just watch the fun. Right? Think about her just doing that with us, right? Until you are really serious. I want to break out of this. Podum Amma Podum. The Swamiji had sung a beautiful song. I should play that once.
Amma Devi Meenakshi, right?
Heard that?
Yeah, I have downloaded that.
Very nice song. Amma Devi Meenakshi. Arul Cheyyamma.
எத்தனை தாய்கள் எத்தனை தந்தை
எத்தனை தாய்கள் எத்தனை தந்தைகள் எத்தனை நண்பர்கள்
மனைவி எத்தனை
எத்தனை மனைவி. You'll say how many sons, how many daughters, how many mothers, how many fathers, how many mother-in-laws, mothers-in-law. How many I have had in my so many janmas. How many? Podum amma podum. Un valayate. He'll say, enough, oh mother, enough your game. I am tired of it. And later when he explains the song, Swamiji will say that podum amma, that podum, enough, oh mother, should come deeply from inside, saying enough, really, I'm serious about it. It's enough. It should not be like my mother-in-law scolded me, enough. My husband shouted at me, enough. My wife threw a patram at me, enough. My husband insulted me in front of somebody, enough. Then later you come back to the same cycle because that enough is coming only from one incident. So this need to wanting to get something constantly. And she will let us play. She'll let us play till we come to this point saying enough. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody. Tell yourself. Inside our hearts, we'll come to a point to say that I think I'm really serious about this. I want I can see this game. I can see this game. I can see the way it's being played out. And I am okay to sit and watch. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Right? When that comes from within, then we understand truly. When you say Nishkriyaya Namaha, it means to go to that space of not wanting to become, but to be. Right? The need to become is so dense within us that we forget to be. In fact, become has be. See, I got to be first to become anything. Right? We've got to be first, and then we become. We attempt to become. But the whole race is about wanting to become. The process, we lose this out, right? So when we are saying Nishkriyaya Namaha, we mean that we come to this space within us where we see action ceases. Panchopashamam Shantam. Prapanchopashamam Shantam. Prapancha Upashamam Shantam. Prapanchangalna, all the prapancha. Prapancha is what? The world. The Mahabhuta is the world outside. That's manifest. The Indriyas, the Pancha Indriyas, the Karmendriyas, and the Panchajnanendriyas, they come to an Upashamam. Yogaha, Shiva, Yogaha,
Chittavritti Nirodha.
Chittavritti Nirodha. Chittavritti Nirodha. There is cessation of these vrittis. Prapancho Upashamam. When there is Upashamam, when there is cessation, when there is Nirodha, there is cessation of by its own nature, not by somebody trying to suppress it. Because if you suppress a spring, what happens? It will bounce back. It's not like that. By its own accord, it comes to a resting. What remains is Shantam. Prapanchopashamam Shantam. This appears in Mandukya Upanishad. So that Shantam is Nishkriyaya Namaha. There is, when that Shantam is there, doesn't mean that you don't do anything. Now, the other thing in our in our culture, what they have done is they have given a lot of code of living, how to live. The reason is because of this, is that we can't be quiet. We don't know how to be quiet. Even physically, we don't know how to be quiet. Shantam or இடத்துல உட்கார தெரியாது நமக்கு. Right? கச்சேரியில if you're sitting, you must put a தாளம். தெரியலனா கூட. Even if you don't know what tala they're playing, chumma, you have to hit the hand completely. Imagine the plight of the singer there. Looking at the audience, each one is playing their own talam. சும்மா உட்காந்து அப்படியே தியானம் பண்ணிட்டு பாட்டு கேட்கலாமான்னு முடியாது. You have to. இதுல கச்சேரியில எல்லாம் they say, when the மிருதங்கம் is going off beat, நீ இவ பாட்டுக்கு வாசிப்பா, உன் பாட்டுக்கு வாசிக்காத அப்படின்பா. So that when it comes to that ability to bring down the vritti, now what has happened is they've given us codes of living. Like in the morning you do karagre, vasate, idella. Why they do this? Because you anyways are doing stuff, you will anyways do something. the teachers and the rishis, they are telling that do these things so that it will be for your well-being. Do things that are for your well-being. Because you are like a korangu appadin solrava. They're saying you're like a, and this is what is said, that the mind is like a monkey which is bitten by a scorpion, a monkey which has taken liquor and bitten by a scorpion. Maximum damage. It's monkey itself is agitated and fidgety.
Monkey
And
baat
Huh?
hai. Monkey baat hai.
Another monkey. Monkey bath. And that monkey has drunk liquor, so it's not in its senses, and it's bitten by a scorpion. So it's just jumping around all over the place. So they've given us all these codes. Kartalenda, idu panna, puja panna, do your Sandhya Vandanam, do your Madhyanikam, do this thing in the evening, do that during these times, do these things. All of these have been given as guidelines or suggestions so that we do these things which is in alignment to our well-being. Otherwise, we end up doing something or the other. Nochur Venkatraman Anna vandu oru talk la solluvar. It's very important to do morning, afternoon and evening prayers, is because the mind, he calls it, there is a virus in the mind. He says it's called Mandahaha. So this virus will develop, and then you do your Sandhya Vandanam or you do your prayers, then the virus goes off. And then again it develops during the day. So morning you do once, and then during the day it will develop with the activity of the world, your engagement of the world. And again you do a Madhyanikam or you do afternoon prayers, you do little bit of meditation or whatever in the afternoon, so that this virus, again, the effect of the virus goes down. And again, by the time it's evening, again it will develop. And evening Tirumba we do some prayers so that we bring that down. So the Trikala Puja, Trikalam Pandradun Cholrala, we talk about doing for 3 times a day, is essentially to make sure that these things that which are not entirely in our control, by some of these methods or techniques, it remains within within your conscious levels of control. And that is why these have been given, these have been prescribed. These have been prescribed essentially for this. You'll see always somebody who has lived a life of this, following this code and conduct. When they have aged, you will see a certain code, you will see some discipline, you will feel that you have to pay respect to this person. Natural. Even if that person has not read the Vedanta, Upanishads or whatever also, if he's lived by a certain code, when you see this person after a certain age, you will feel there'll be a certain respect that will be drawn out of you for that individual. Because these are things important. So this is in alignment with your well-being. So if we are not able to be Nishkriya, we know we have to keep doing something or the other. Then do things that masters, rishis, great ones in the scriptures, there's been prescription, that is, there are your guru. It's been prescribed to do. Do that so that there is a certain level of stability. And once you get to that level of stability, then you will see slowly these rising of the vrittis, the rising of the desires, the rising of the emotional discharges that happen. These will also come down gradually. And then there'll be passion to do stuff. Nishkriya doesn't mean we become a dead body. Zombie mari it's not like that. We are not walking around like a zombie. In fact, you will see those who are masters, they are much more alive than we are. Because we live in our heads, right? We live in our heads all the time. But they live really with life itself. And life is pulsating all the time. So they live really. So when you actually become Nishkriya within, you'll just do what is needed to be done and just move on. Imagine the level of freedom that you'll have. But of course, you have to make sure that you're established yourself in some kind of code. Like in the Yoga Sutras, it talks about Yama Niyama. You have to establish yourself in that. Then you go and then you're free and then you do what you will. You won't go very wrong. And then you will live a free life. You'll not feel constrained. You will make conscious choices of whatever you do. And then slowly the mind comes to Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Prapanchopashamam Shantam, Nishkriyayai Namaha. So, Kriya at both levels, physical and the mental level. Shariya? So we'll pause here today. Okay. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikayeti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.